Hello everyone, I'm Saurabh Srivastava here. Today I'm going to read chapter 6 of Failing Forward, John Maxwell's book. This is in the section that is called Do You Mind Changing Your Mind? Chapter is no matter what happens to you, failure is an inside job. Perfect. There cannot be better than that. The chapter opens with the quote, life is not simply holding a good hand, life is playing a poor hand well. Dan is saying, definitely true. The way you take it, if you take each and everything that is happening in life, if you take it positively, that's how the life is playing. If you take it negatively, that's how life is playing. When you learn to accept responsibility for yourself, your problems and your failures, you are better prepared to fail forward. But what about when you are faced with overwhelming difficulties that you didn't create and you cannot control? That is very true. That how if something that happens that you could not control, then how you do it? And then author talks about a story about Payless Food Center grocery store in Cynthiana, Kentucky. The owner was Greg Horn, and how he faced insurmountable difficulties where his everything got washed out overnight, and then within 21 days he was able to open the store again. And this is that's a very inspiring story. Even if you lost almost everything, but he did not lose the faith. He kept moving on, and he assessed the situation, and based on that he acted on it and made the best out of it. So a man is not defeated by his opponents but by himself. Jan Christian Smith. That's very true, and that's what happened with Greg there, and Greg was able to take care of. I got into grocery business because I wanted to make an impact on people, says Greg. Before I opened the store in Cynthiana, I worked for Hershey's Chocolate and had 1.2 million territory. I was making a good living, but that wasn't enough. And the basic motivation behind Greg's working so hard and getting everything back was that he wanted people who are suffering with that flood in that area to get back to work as soon as possible. And on the way, he is able to help so many people around the way. So what you see is what you get. That is the next section of it. So that's what it is. How we see. If we see the glass half full, we see glass half full. If we see glass half empty, we see glass half empty. But not everyone is born with that initial given that, oh, you always see everything positive. It is a learned habit. You can learn it and you can make a difference. Positive attitude, the first key to what happens in you. The first element in winning the internal battle against failure is a positive outlook. University of Pennsylvania psychology professor Martin Seligman, who had studied employees in 30 different industries, observes the people who bounce back are optimists. Let's face it, not everyone is naturally optimistic. Contentment, that's not a popular concept these days. One reason is that our culture actually discourages the idea of contentment. People are continually bombarded with the message, what you have isn't enough. You need more, a bigger house, a better car, a larger salary, whiter teeth, sweeter breath, nicer clothes. The list is endless. But the truth is that pursuing healthy contentment is essential for being able to withstand failure. There are a lot of misconceptions about contentment. Let's look at what it's not. It's not containing your emotions. So it's not containing your emotions. You have to express your emotions. When you fail, Greg saw his everything got devastated. He felt the emotion, and that's what drove him. So you need to feel the emotions. And there is a small little story here that someone is on a deathbed, and he blamed everything on the spouse, that all the bad things happening in my life is because of you. And that's not the contentment. And because he was not able to take the responsibility of what he was doing. So not maintaining your current situation. Contentment is not maintaining your current situation. It is still, we are moving on. We are making incremental changes to get better in where we are. Can we be better than what we were yesterday? Are we getting better and better every day in every way? And that's but at the same time, not losing your basics. Are you satisfied with? Are you content with your? Are you content with your surrounding? Are you content with your relationships? Are you improving your relationships in such a way that gives you more back? Not attaining position, power, or possession. Contentment is not any or one of these things. So contentment comes from having positive attitude. It means expecting the best in everything, not the worst. Remaining upbeat when you get beat up. Seeing solution in every problem, not problems in every solution. Believing in yourself even when others believe you have failed. Holding on to hope even when others say it's hopeless. No matter what happens to you, positive attitude comes from within. Your circumstances and your contentments are unrelated. Positive action, the other key to what happens in you. The problem is something that can be solved. A fact of life is something that must be accepted. That's very true. If there is a problem, then we need to solve it so that we can move on. And a fact, like Greg lost everything, that is a fact, and he accepted that fact, and you must accept that fact of what happens in your life. It's a state of mind. Failure is an inside job, so is the success. If you want to achieve, you have to win the war in your thinking first. You can't let the failure outside you get inside you. You certainly can't control the length of your life, but you can control its breadth and depth. That is very, very true. And how you react to things and how you perceive things, those all make a difference. So but then a man who keeps failure outside, right now you may be saying, that's all well and good for you, John. You haven't experienced what I have. Even Greg Horn's story is nothing compared to mine. Or he lost the money. So after that, John Maxwell talks about a story about Roger Crawford, who was born with conditions called electrodactylism, and he was, but still, without all these limitations, he was able to get the professional tennis player recognition, and that is a big So he was United States Professional Tennis Association. He got as certified player. That's a big deal, and he ultimately met with a guy. When he went to college, the guy approached him who had the similar situation. He was much older than him, so he thought that, okay, he might be able to get some mentorship or something on it. But that other guy had different perspective of it. He was complaining about everything that happened in his life. These two people who have similar challenges, similar kind of conditions, but the attitude made all the difference what they can. And for that, credit goes to definitely him as well as his parents, who took care of, who always, something my parents never did was to allow me to feel sorry for myself or to take advantage of people because of my handicap, observes Roger. So he was always encouraged. When he was old enough, they sent him to regular public schools. They involved him in sports. They encouraged him to do everything his heart desired, and they taught him to think positively. His father used to say, "You are only as handicapped as you want to be." That is very true, and we all are handicapped with all the things that we have, all the organs there, but we are handicapped by our mental abilities. Are we working on our mental abilities to expand our horizon and to instill enough faith in ourselves that we can be a better person? Handicaps can only disable us if we let them. This is true not only of physical challenges, but of emotional and intellectual ones as well. I believe that real and lasting limitations are created in our minds, not our bodies. Roger Crawford. And with that, we are done with the sixth step of failing forward. Don't let the failure from outside get inside you. And we should work on it, and I'm going to work on it, on my shortcomings that I feel that I have, and I will not let my mind play with me. For the fact of life, write fact next to the items and determine the positive despite the adversity. That's what I'm going to follow, and here a step of failing forward. We have covered 6 of them. Now 7th one we will move on tomorrow, and that is the past holding your life hostage? Thanks for watching this video. If you like the content, please like and subscribe. Looking forward to talk to you guys tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.